And in a way, I'm kind of glad it's bad.
Boxes, bangles, George Jangles, we're here to take the competitive meta scene down. Blood Angels are back, baby.
It's finally here, the brand new Blood Angel Codex, the one that myself and Jordan have been so looking forward to, and it's our absolute pleasure and delight to go through that with you today. So in this video, we're going to be doing a full synopsis of what you can expect from this codex. We're going to take a look at some of those units that we've unfortunately lost, some maybe that we've gained, and everything in between, such as the stratagems, the enhancements, all the different combinations. So stay tuned if you want to know how to play Blood Angels in this new era of 10th edition with the Codex. There's lots to be excited for, some very cool detachments, but also there are some things that we're going to sadly miss. And the real question is, Jordan, is it going to stand up in the meta?
That is a big question, Steve.
Is it going to be able to perform?
Well, shall we find out?
Okay, Jordan, where are we going to start with this one?
So let's take a look at some of the key changes from the index to the codex. Units we've lost.
Units we've lost. Well, I think there's unfortunately quite a few here.
Yeah, we've got quite a big list. Some have been replaced, some haven't.
Yeah.
So the ones that have been replaced, Death Company.
Death Company have been replaced. So before, you could have Death Company on foot, and you could have Death Company with jump packs. But you also had Death Company Assault Intercessors.
Yeah, they could be like Assault or with Bolters. It's still a profile.
Yeah.
But now we've got Jump Assault Intercessor Death Company and Death Company Intercessors, Assault Intercessors. So they're going to be taking an assortment of weapons, but you're just not going to be seeing 10 Inferno Pistols, 10 Power Fists on every single unit. Yeah,
the weapon loadouts have massively changed with those jump pack infantry. And this is kind of where I'm concerned, is whether it's still got the teeth. Because I think this is this is the biggest loss for the army.
Definitely.
With the amount of like fusion or inferno or melter pistols that you can take now, you're looking at literally a 90% drop in your shooting efficiency, but without gaining any additional combat efficiency.
Yeah, because before, like, a big weakness of a melee army, transports.
How do you get rid of them?
Well, Inferno Pistols, Melter Pistols, being able to get some high damage weapons off at the start before you make your charges.
Right, so you use the Inferno Pistols, kill the transport, then charge what's inside.
Exactly. Now, we're not getting that.
So obviously that's a huge loss, and also the weapons that you now get access to have massively changed. You're not going to be able to take every model with a Thunder Hammer or a Power Fist.
No.
It is very much restricted, and we will go over that when we come into the unit. So how many data sheets of Death Company are there now then?
So there's 3 data sheets of Death Company units, but we also have captains now, Death Company captains. Right. So we have a Death Company captain on foot and a Death Company captain with jump pack.
Okay, so they're new to the army.
New to the army.
But you may realise that they're quite similar to a character that we've lost.
Yes, so they have a similar ability, well, exactly word for word, to Tycho the Lost.
He's gone.
He's gone, but he's passed on his legacy to all his friends who have now been inducted into the Death Company.
Exactly that.
Yep.
Okay, so he was like the archetype maybe, and now they've all kind of copied it. So There's no Tycho the Lost. Is Tycho still in the Codex?
Absolutely not. He is gone. He can now rest in peace, my boy.
Yeah.
His funeral was the art cover for plenty of Blood Angels art and stuff, but now he's gone.
Yeah, okay, so he's gone too. Now, with that though, there is a captain. A Blood Angel captain, specifically, with a slightly different loadout than what you might find in the Space Marine Codex.
Yeah, exactly. So these guys have pretty much got the same data sheet. Well, they have the same data sheet in terms of like abilities and stuff as a normal captain. But like you said, we can have a different melee weapon. We can have like a relic chainsword or an Inferno pistol.
Pretty cool. All right. So what else have we lost then?
Dreadnoughts. Librarian Dreadnoughts, Furioso Dreadnoughts, and the Death Company Dreadnought has basically now become a Brutalis Dreadnought.
Right, okay. And which one are you most upset about losing?
Librarian Dread.
Yeah, the Librarian Dread was, I think, pretty iconic to the Blood Angel Force.
Very iconic.
It also offered you some sort of element of, like, dynamic movement around the table. So let's just hope there's a way in here that we've got that back.
Yes.
That'll be very interesting.
Definitely.
So the Dreadnoughts have gone. What else has gone?
So something has been replaced, Sanguinary Guard. We've now, a similar situation to Death Company. We've lost the weapon loadouts. And they've been reduced to 6-man squads rather than potential of 10. But they have had glow-ups in certain areas and stayed the same in other areas.
Right, so that'll be interesting to see how they wash out. Because currently, as it stands, nobody takes really Sanguinary Guard anyway.
No.
So we're hoping for a lot from this to actually see these on the table. This was the unit that really brought me to the army in the first place. Okay, obviously, The Sanguinor has been announced, got a brand new model.
Yep.
Ashtaroth, Lamates, they're all still in there, which is absolutely fantastic. And finally, the last one, which I think is going to massively affect everybody that plays competitive Blood Angels, it's the Sanguinary Priest with Jump Pack. Now, what this model allows you to do is have a 5+ feel no pain and also +1 AP on all of your melee attacks, which meant that with all of your Vanguard veterans, they're a little bit lackluster in combat, are only AP1, AP2, they really felt like they were a little bit more punchy. And then, of course, having a 4+ unburnable save and a 5+ feel no pain that the unit had was a little bit more reliable. Or it also made your Jump Pack infantry just that little bit more, again, punchy as well and a little bit more durable. That's a huge loss.
Considering the army is built around jump packs, and now you don't have that support character element, because in the Space Marine Codex, you don't have support characters with jump packs. So now your units are going to be led by one character. So you're not going to have that duality to a unit where you can like buff another character or things like that. So it's going to be a whole new way of playing Blood Angels, I think, is this Codex.
I feel like, for me, this is the thing that I'm most disappointed about.
Same. Yep.
I would go as far as say this is as big as a big of a miss since Khan from the White Scars wasn't given a bike.
Yes.
Miniatures team, what were you thinking?
Yeah. Where's the jump pack?
Where's the bike?
Where's the bike? Where's the bike and jump pack? On the same model.
I know. Flying jetpacks.
Yes. Oh, it's sad, but I think what we've got to look at here is a potential new way to look at the army. Right, so the list is going to be completely different now, right?
Well, you've got no other choice, Jordan.
Well, true. Not wrong. Well, before we move on, there are two other characters we have lost, and that is Brother Corbulo
what a legend.
and Gabriel Seth.
What
so,
another
Flesh
legend.
Terror players, unfortunately, Gabriel Seth is not in the Codex, which is, I think, a massive miss.
It is.
Because I think Gabriel Seth is an iconic character from 40k that we are now missing. And I know he's a very old model, but it's still, we've seen it with other characters in the Space Marine Codex, like Vulcan. Could have kept Gabriel Seth in the book.
I definitely feel like it feels like a shame when these characters are lost. And kind of not replaced, really. But we've seen this throughout, and again, was just one thing that we need to get used to. Obviously, they must have their reasons through manufacturing or something, probably things that we don't even understand. But obviously, let's hope for one day they make an appearance again.
Definitely.
That would be pretty cool.
Can't wait for the rise of Gabriel Seth. That'll be awesome.
The rise of Tycho.
No, Steve, let's not go through this, okay? Let my boy rest.
All right. So, Jordan, army rule-wise, we're a Space Marine, we get Oath of Moment, right?
Oath of Moment, yep. So we get to pick a target in our opponent's army, and we get to reroll hits against it.
And that's something we do in the command phase.
Yes.
In our command phase. So that makes our hitting much more efficient, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, you are still a Space Marine, so you're still going to be able to take the Gladius detachment and all the others from the general Space Marine, army book or the Codex.
Yep. And how many detachments do we have in this book, Steve?
We've got 3.
3. Yep.
3 codexes to go over.
Yeah, 3 detachments that we can go through. The first one had a name change.
It has.
It's now called the Liberator Assault Group, right?
Right.
This was Sons of Sanguinius.
Okay.
What do we get for this detachment?
Well, on the charge, you're going to get +2 strength and +1 attack to your melee weapons.
Fantastic. So what we've done here is we've kept the balanced data slate change, and it's now been put in the Codex.
Exactly that.
I think that is a perfect thing for this detachment, because now we can actually start to buff these units, especially with the change to Death Company. And we're not all having Power Fists. At least we can get the punch out of that unit again.
No, I completely agree. Now, this for me is, there's a lot of changes here, okay? So this isn't just like, okay, they get the index one. There's a lot of changes here.
It's very different, actually.
So let's go over the enhancements. The first one is called the Speed of the Primarch. So obviously in Adeptus Astartes model only, this is a once per battle ability. In fact, a fair few of these are once per battle or once per battle round. They're quite selective as to when you can use these enhancements.
Right, okay, so we're going to be reactive here.
Yeah, so at the start of the fight phase, the bearer can use this enhancement. Models in that bearer's unit have the Fight's First ability.
Auto include.
Massive.
Absolutely amazing.
I don't care how many points this is, go straight in the list.
That one turn where your opponent makes their charge to attack your unit, you go, nope, I'm fighting. This is perfect for this detachment.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
It just means you're not so reliant on Judases in your list.
Yeah, exactly, or Sanguinor.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So then we've got Rage-Fueled Warrior. So once per battle at the start of the fight phase, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does so until the end of that phase, the bearer's melee weapons have sustained 3.
Okay, hear me out on this one, Steve.
So I'm going to tell you something first, Jordan.
All right, you tell me. Yeah.
Why is it once per battle?
Um,
I'm never taking this on that single fact alone, it's once per battle. Unless it's 5 points.
Depends on points, right? But I think there is a really good use for this.
Go on, give me your use for it.
Captain, on foot.
Okay.
You've got once per game where you get +3 attacks and devastating wounds.
Yep.
You literally hit on 2s
Yep.
with a power fist.
Yep.
At strength 11.
Yep.
Reroll all your hits with Oath Moment with sustain 3 on all those attacks with damage 2 and devastating wounds.
I mean, you're averaging 3 6s on that many attacks with a reroll. That's not bad.
You've just made your attacks back.
I think the thing for me is its points cost is 10. So at 10 points, if I had it left over, I might do that.
Yeah.
But you've also got to think about the captain with that ability. The whole point of that captain in, let's say, 5 Assault Intercessors for reroll wounds is to have it cheap to trade. And as soon as you start throwing on these different enhancements, it starts increasing that points cost, which then starts to bring you in a position where you're unable to trade efficiently because now your points are so valuable where you might then get killed in return and end up trading down. So I think there's a little balance to be had there.
Yeah, I can see that point, definitely.
Okay, so the third enhancement is Icon of the Angel, and this is written exactly as it is in the index, so no changes there. But essentially, on this unit, or on this model, should I say, when an enemy unit wants to fall back, they're going to have to essentially take a desperate breakout test as if they were battle shocked. And if they're already battle shocked, you're going to reduce that roll that they need to take where they might, lose models by an additional 1.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you could tie up an enemy unit, and now if they want to fall back, so say it's an infantry unit that can't shoot in combat, you're going to be taking desperate escape check.
That's it, and this cannot be used on monsters and vehicles.
Yeah.
So the next one is called Gift of the Foresight. Obviously something Sanguinius had in, all his glorious beauty. So Astartes model only. Once per battle round, sounds a little bit better, just after making a hit, a wound, or a saving throw for the bearer, you can treat the result as an unmodified roll of a 6. Now that is really unfortunate that you can't give a character 2 enhancements, because you could have double dipped with the Rage Fuel Warrior and I'd have been well keen for a bit of that action.
Yeah.
But unfortunately you can't, and it is a shame that this doesn't affect the unit.
Yeah, because you could potentially flip a 6 to get sustained on a unit or something like that. I see what you're saying.
Because then you could have like a lieutenant and a character combo, 1-with-1. I think there could have been some cool stuff there.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but this was actually a Warlord trait in 9th edition.
Where you could double dip.
Yeah, you could double dip.
You could have 2, what were they called? Relics at the time.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So anyway, that's the 4. They're not bad. I think we've picked out a couple there which are pretty good. And I think if you've got the points left over, you might go for a bit of the Rage Fuel Warrior, the Icon of the Angel, or maybe the Gift of the Foresight.
Yep.
Can you see a use for the Gift of the Foresight? What sort of model would you put that on?
Yeah, it's only going to work on maybe the Death Company with Jump Pack Captain.
Well, or any captain that has Devastating Wounds or a Judicer.
Or that, yeah.
Flipping those wound rolls to a 6. Pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. But Speed of the Primarch, that's going straight in my basket.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's move on to the stratagems.
What have we got? What's the first one?
Okay, so the first one is called Angelic Grace. This gives you a 5+ Feel No Pain against mortal wounds.
So, devastating wounds.
Are mortal wounds.
Are mortal wounds. So we've now got a Feel No Pain. So, in essence, we've got the Sanguinary Priest ability to put on a Jump Pack unit, just not against everything.
Just against everything.
It's like a mini version.
Exactly that. Well, okay, we still got Armor Contempt.
Nice.
It wouldn't be a Space Marine army without a bit of Armor Contempt going around. So again, that's going to reduce the incoming armor penetration by 1. So if they're AP2 normally, it's now going to count as AP1. This is going to work great on those Sanguinary Guard, anything with a 2+ save.
Definitely.
Okay, so the next one is called Savage Echoes. Okay, now you're going to see this crop up quite a lot where there's kind of a small element to the stratagem and then a big element to the stratagem. But in order to get the big part, you become battle shocked. The stratagem still takes place, but you instantly battle shock yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you use this one in your opponent's charge phase, and you essentially can have +1 attack or +1 strength.
Okay, so if we battle shock ourselves, we get both. And if we don't battle shock ourselves, we get +1 attack.
Or strength.
Or strength.
Yes, one or the other.
Okay, I think this is amazing, especially as a reactive stratagem for something like a Judicia or Blade Guard unit, because they've got the fights first ability.
Yeah.
Or the unit you give Speed of the Primarch to, that once per game, boom, now I'm going to get some benefits and still hit you really hard.
Exactly that.
Yeah, I think really, really good one to have in this detachment.
It's really nice. Okay, so the next one is called Red Rampage. This is in the fight phase. You can select to have Lance or you can have Lethal. And if you can Battle Shocked, you get both.
Okay, so this was in the index. You just got both. So there's a bit of a nerf in the fact that you've got to take the Battle Shock.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's something we're going to have in this whole detachment now. But it's still very, very strong just to get lethal. Like if you get charged, give yourself lethal, for instance, right?
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly. So one Adeptus that has not been selected.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just have lethal hits if you get charged reactively, which I think is probably the strongest way to use this.
Yeah, definitely. Another way we could use this stratagem. So as we mentioned before, Death Company Captain with Jump Pack gives sustained to his unit with Death Company.
Okay.
So we could use lethal hits here. So now we've got lethal, sustained, and because they're Death Company, they still reroll all hit rolls without Oath Moment.
And also with Death Company, actually, because if the chaplain's not nearby anyway, and if you've got a captain in this unit, it won't be, then you're essentially battle shocked anyway.
Yeah.
So for all OC purposes, you may as well just get the triple whammy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think the essence with this, like choosing to be battle shocked, is like the last ditch attempt. I'm doing as much damage as I can, or this is a key moment. I have to battle shock myself, because if you do it in your turn, you are going to remain battle shocked until your next command phase.
Yeah.
So you won't have any defensive stratagems going into your opponent's turn.
Who leaves 5 Death Company flying around anyway? Not many people.
Well, exactly.
So it's not going to be there at the end of the turn, regardless whether you're an injective or not.
Yeah, it's very thematic because obviously Blood Angels try and resist the rage, and when they give into it, it's just that's it. I'm going all out. I'm going to hit as hard as I can.
Also, if your opponent hasn't, like for example, achieved certain mission cards where they need to kick you off objectives you control. It's quite interesting. You can go onto that objective, kick off your enemy unit, and then you're not technically controlling it because you're OC 0. So there could be some interplay there as well.
Definitely. No, I didn't think of that. It's a really good idea, actually.
Right, okay, so next one is called Aggressive Onslaught. So it's 1 CP and it's in your movement phase just after you advanced. You can either have shoot or you can have charge.
So advance, charge, or shoot.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
So it gives you a little bit of tactical flexibility there, something that the Blood Angels really missed, I feel like, which is why a lot of people went to Gladius, because they didn't get that advance in charge. But obviously, if you become Battle Shock, then you can have both.
So I think the key thing to remember here, we don't have Inferno pistols anymore, Steve.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it?
So we don't need advance and shoot.
No.
So I don't think that's as bad as it looks.
No.
Because you've just got advance and charge on one unit.
For a CP.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I think it's absolutely amazing, and I think this for Blood Angels is what we've all been crying out for. So
I mean, you could take a unit of Vanguard vets with pistols.
You could, yeah.
That could actually work quite well.
Yeah.
That would probably be a good place to use this stratagem if you became battle shocked. But then it's quite a big investment on a unit that's normally quite durable. Obviously, if you've got the pistols, then you don't have the 4+ invulnerable save. So I think you'd expect to have to put in a lot of damage with that unit to really make it sort of points back.
But don't forget, this can be a vehicle.
Right.
So we could put it on a tank that's got like Gladiator Lancer or a Redeemer, advance and shoot.
Maybe a Dreadnought.
A Dreadnought, yeah.
That's pretty good.
So there's other elements. I think we're just looking at it from the units in this book. Yeah. But you have the whole Space Marine Codex. So if you want to take the shooting element...
I mean, the Redemptor Dreadnought's going to work great with this.
Exactly.
Yeah, Centurions on foot are going to work great with this.
Exactly. So now we've got that ability to move them.
My Centurions could be back.
Steve Centurions.
Steve Centurions are back on the menu, boys. Right, okay, so next up is Relentless Assault, okay? So this is just after you've made a fallback move.
Okay.
Now, you can either shoot or you can charge.
So we've got fallback, charge, or shoot for CP.
Battle shock yourself, fallback, shoot, and charge.
Okay, cool. So this was actually in the previous iteration in the index, but it was just fallback and charge.
Yeah.
So now we have the option to shoot. We're just now missing the pistols. But again, like you said, it could be on a tank or some or a Dreadnought, or your Centurions.
Exactly that. No one's tying them up.
No.
And that I really like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So overall, I do think that this detachment is actually better.
Yes.
Than its index iteration, and I think that's because we now have advance and charge.
And advance and shoot.
Advance and shoot. We literally have Lance and Lethal still.
Yep.
And we can get a reactive combat boost to fight World Eaters. or Black Templars or something, right? Which is now going to give us our detachment rule again.
I feel like this is a good mix of Gladius and basically Sons combined.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we've now got the Liberator Assault Group. So I'm cool. I think this is a good detachment. It's
Same.
good, and I'm excited for it.
Yep, same. All right, next one.
Okay, so the next detachment is the Lost Brethren.
We've got a Death Company detachment.
That we do. Now, I feel like I'm going to hold that thought and come back to you.
Okay.
Right, so let's go over the detachment rule.
Right, what is it?
Each time a Death Company model from your army makes a melee attack, reroll a wound of 1.
Okay.
Okay, if you're below its starting strength. That is the line I wish wasn't there. Okay, now, whoa, before you start sighing, if this model's unit is below half strength, you can reroll the wound instead. Now, let's just look at that. So that means if you're taking a unit of 5, you need to have 2 models left, because it's not... Also, the word below, I hate that word, just half strength would have been great. Because if you had 5 Death Company and a captain, you could have a captain and 2 Death Company, and actually, you're at half strength. But you need to go down to 1 Death Company.
And a captain.
And a captain to be able to use this to get the full benefit. Or you're going down to 4 Death Company and a captain to get just your regular benefit. If you're taking, you know, a unit of, you know, well, obviously 5, but I just feel like you don't want to take any losses before you get these units in combat. They're so fragile as it is.
I will say, I think this is, you're not going to see this competitively just off a detachment rule.
Right.
Because you don't, like, reroll wounds is obviously the best thing for Death Company because they got reroll hits.
Yeah.
So getting reroll wounds is fantastic, right? But like you said, we're losing stuff to get that.
Yeah, and also there's some keywords here. So if you select this attachment, Death Company Marines and Death Company Marines with bolt rifles become battle line.
They're not the ones with jump packs, though.
Not the ones with jump packs. Do you know what else isn't here?
What?
If you have a chaplain in the unit, it doesn't become a Death Company model.
Yeah.
Because it's just part of a Death Company unit, but it's not a Death Company model. So therefore, if you take any chaplains with jump packs or any chaplains on foot to lead your army, which the units still need, because otherwise, if we go to all of the sort of rules for Death Company, essentially, if you don't have a chaplain within 12 inches, is it?
That's it, yep.
Then you're OC 0 and you can't fall back.
Yeah.
Which is really rubbish. So for me, that's a bit of a miss that your chaplains don't get the Death Company. Or it would have been nice just to have chaplain, like a Death Company chaplain.
So this is my big problem as well with this is captains and chaplains can't join the same unit.
No.
So if you want to take the Death Company captains, we're not going to be able to take chaplains. So we're going to lose the efficiency of being able to storm hostile objective or things like this, right? That we can't do now with this unit.
And all of these enhancements that we're about to go over, they can only be put on a Death Company model only.
Right.
Well, there's 2 models that are awesome, which can lead Death Company. One is Ashtaroth, one is Lamartes.
Yep.
Okay, so that now means if you did want to take 3 enhancements, you need to take 3 captains, which means where are your other chaplains coming from?
Yeah.
Because it can be really difficult to keep those units within 12 inches of a chaplain because of their survivability. So we'll go over them anyway, but I feel like that was a huge miss not to either have a Death Company chaplain in here or a little line here where it says keywords that basically chaplains when join Death Company units get the Death Company keyword.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Definitely.
Now, I was thinking, right, well, could this affect the Death Company Dreadnought? Because Dreadnoughts can take a punch, you might take a few wounds. Cool, getting reroll 1s to wound isn't bad. But, Jordan?
They've got twin linked.
So they don't even need it. They get 4 rerolls to wound anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst rule for the Death Company, actually, when you look at it. But look, we've got enhancements. Let's go through them and let's see what options we've got available.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we've got to bear in mind as well, not all detachments are made equally. Some are a little bit more thematic, based around like the lore. And sometimes if these detachments are too powerful, and in a way, I'm kind of glad it's bad, competitively speaking. And I'll tell you why. Because otherwise we end up with what's happened with the sisters and my beautiful, lovely Repentia. Because there is one detachment where they go absolutely crazy, it's massively increased their cost and points, which means then they become unviable in any other detachment aside from that one detachment. So perhaps actually this is a good thing, that this is not great. Because otherwise all your death company would be a lot more expensive.
Well, I think the thing is, right, I don't think no one wants to, well, if you're a Blood Angels like fan, you don't want to be seeing Death Company spammed. That's not a lore thing. You don't have Death Company spammed like in droves of them.
Oh, I don't know, I do like that.
I don't. I think
I
like,
do.
It's the same as when people are running 30 Sanguinary Guards, Steve.
That's your opinion.
It is. It is.
I like a Death Company army.
That's fair
I think
enough.
they're cool, and I also like 30 Sanguinary Guard.
That's fair enough.
Now, if there is a lore-based reason that there's only 21, for example, then they should have made the squad size 7.
Yeah.
And you could have had 3 units. Cool, you can
But it's what I'm saying, like when we're looking at detachments like this, where they've been obviously not made to be super powerful, and it's like a lore-based one,
Yeah.
it can sometimes feel like, well, I'd rather just not have the detachment.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's just something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have had like some sort of other base detachment, which would be pretty cool. So, all right. Anyway, we'll go over it.
Yep.
We'll go over it. But I think on review, I'm happy that it's not great.
Definitely. Agreed.
Because otherwise these keywords would come at a premium points cost, which is a problem then. Yeah. Right, okay, cool. So Sanguinius is grace. Once per battle at the end of the fight phase, if you're within engagement range, you can fight in additional time. This is interesting because once per battle at the end of the fight phase, if this bearer is within engagement range of 3 or more enemy models, the bearer can fight 1 additional time. But of course, if he's joined a unit, it would also trigger them to pile in and consolidate. I think this needs an FAQ personally.
Yep.
Because I think some people could argue that the whole unit gets to fight again. In which case would be absolutely mental.
Yes.
You could also argue that actually only the captain with this enhancement could, we can't maybe he can only pile in and consolidate, but then he would end up out of coherency. That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it needs an FAQ.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't. You don't even get any strong abilities on the Death Company captain to really boost damage either. So it's not like the normal captain on foot that gets his like once per game going crazy with dev wounds and stuff. Yeah. He's just hitting with a power fist again. So is it really worth it?
Don't know, depends on the points.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's 5 or 10, maybe.
Sure.
Okay, Blood Shard. Death Company model only. The first time you're destroyed on a 2+, you stand back up with 3 wounds left.
I like this.
Okay.
Because as we mentioned earlier, Tycho's ability is in the Death Company captain's datasheet. So on death, they do mortal wounds.
Right.
So he dies.
Yep.
Does potentially D6 plus 3 mortal wounds.
Yep.
Dies again. Does it again.
I like it.
It's a lot of mortals coming from him.
I think, yeah, especially if this triggers if your opponent kills him in their turn, you're standing back up, runs back into the same unit just to sacrifice himself for more mortals. Maybe chuck a grenade in on the way for good measure.
Exactly.
Right, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
So next up is to slay the War Master. Death Company model only, once per battle at the start of the fight phase. If you're within engagement range of 1 or more characters, you can select one of those character units and roll 6d6 for each 4+. One character model in that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. This is interesting because what this is basically is a precision grenade.
Yeah, it's a precision grenade, which is interesting, right?
Because it goes on the character model, not character unit.
Yeah, so like those little support characters that have like 3 to 4 wounds, it's pretty good to be able to snipe out one of them, take out the Feel No Pain before the fight's even started. Yeah. Or something like that, like Technomancers.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, get rid of them before the fight's even started.
Love it. Okay, cool. So, Vengeful Onslaught.
Yep.
Death Company model. If the bear is destroyed until the end of the turn, each time a friendly Death Company makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll.
Okay, it's not bad actually.
Yeah. It's all right. So you're hitting on 2s, whatever, with some of those bigger weapons, or 3s. If you've got the Eviscerators, can kind of negate some minuses to hit. It's all right.
But if he's dead, surely the unit's dead, right?
Death Company model, if the bear is destroyed until the end of the next turn, each time a friendly Death Cuddle makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So it doesn't specify any range here.
So it's every Death Company model
in your army would get +1 to hit.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
On that one turn, make sure you fight with that first, or you send it in.
Well, you just put this on a captain on his own.
Yeah.
Okay, send him into something where you know he's going to die. And, yeah, well, you go, cool, do you want to Overwatch me, mate? Do you want to Overwatch me? Please Overwatch me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Throw your avatar spear at me.
Yeah, Overwatch me.
Fate dice me.
Yeah. So, and then just chuck him straight at Angron.
Yeah.
And, go, do you want to interrupt to here, Vanguard? Angron, yeah, all right. And
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. No, do you know what? I will say this about the enhancements. They do feel very Blood Angel-y.
They're fun.
All about sacrificing, all about going in and just being like, take me.
But, I mean, all of these sound a lot more fun than the set before, apart from the fights first.
Yeah, true.
But it's just a shame about the detachment rule.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe the stratagems are so good and the enhancements sound great that actually negates the fact that the detachment rule isn't strong.
All right, so what's the first stratagem?
Okay, Glorious Sacrifice. You basically sticky an objective. So let's say you kill one of my Death Company units, I spend a CP, and now it stays under my control.
Interesting.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good, actually.
Yeah, this works in World Eaters really, really well. I think it's great.
Yeah, definitely. No, I really like that. It's a good one to have on this detachment.
Armor Contempt's the next one.
Okay.
We don't need to go over that.
Nope.
Okay, next up is Final Retribution. Fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. You can fight on death on a 4+. However, if you've got a chaplain within 12 inches, then you get a +1 to that roll. So obviously you fight on death on a 3+, which is pretty good for a 1 CP stratagem.
I actually really like this.
Because you could have Ashtorath, who's a chaplain, right, with one unit that does fight on death on a 4+. And then if you've got another unit nearby, they could be fighting on death with a 3+.
Yeah.
So both units can be fighting on death.
Really good. Again, another reactive piece to your opponent attacking you. So if you go into a melee army like World Eaters or Templars, really good to have.
And obviously, the fight on death mechanic would work well with a noble death in combat.
Very true, actually.
Because when you fight on death, you essentially count as being below half strength.
Yes.
So you get full rerolls to wound with that unit that's now fighting on death.
Okay, so there is a use for that now with that stratagem and Ashtorath's unit.
There is.
Definitely.
So it's all about fighting on death.
Yeah.
But still not great.
Still, we're not saying it's amazing. No. But
you don't want an army rule that only works when you're dead.
True.
Yeah, cool. So next up is Furious Onslaught. What this allows you to do is each time you make a pile-in, it can do so D3+3 instead of 3. If your unit is within 12 inches of one or more friendly chaplain models, again, maybe it said captain here. That would have been cool as well. Or a Death Company captain. That would give a bit of duality to maybe the reason to take some, because otherwise they're a bit conflicting.
Yeah.
Or if you're below start strength, it can move up to 6 instead. In either case, it can only do so providing your unit ends that pile-in move in unit coherency and with engagement range of one or more enemy units. So it does mean that you can make 2 charges, and what I like about this is that you could charge into like a Rhino with 2 units, and no matter really where your opponent puts their models, they're not going to be able to put themselves outside of 6 from you.
No.
So then when the first unit kills the Rhino, the second unit can pop this stratagem, pile into the unit that's just disembarked onto the other side of the transport. You can pile into it and they'll kill it because you've made a charge move, you still get to pile in.
This also works really well with the fight again once per game. Because it means your captain could potentially pop the transport.
Yes.
Now you pile into the unit that's just got out, and now your captain fights again.
And he can do some damage.
So I think there's a bit of use there as well.
Yeah. Okay, so next up is 1 CP, Lost to the Rage. When you're, again, below starting strength, this is the killer for me. That you've got to be below starting strength for this to trigger. Until the end of that phase, improve the attack strength and AP of characteristics by melee by 1, unless you're within 12, otherwise it's hazardous, okay?
Okay.
So I feel like with this detachment, you definitely want plasma pistols.
Yeah, to get hazardous, overcharge it on your pistol shots.
And hope you roll a 1.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's a bit of a loss.
It is.
Yeah, I don't like the below starting strength. Or maybe what you do, no, that wouldn't work either. So let's not even go there.
No, I do like the fact you get an extra AP. So now all the chain swords in the Death Company squads go to AP2, AP3 Power Fist. It's a really strong ability to get that, the extra strength, things like that, right? But like you said, we don't want to be below starting strength, and we don't want to be taking casualties throughout the game.
No. So maybe it's because you don't want, that one thing's the detachment rule, then let alone actually having other abilities which are, triggering on, you being under starting strength as well. Because also you can't use this in conjunction with fight on death because you're not selecting yourself to fight when you're fighting on death. So you can't combo those two together. Maybe if you just had lots of units in transports, and every time your opponent, destroys your transports, when you get out, there's a chance that, you roll a 1, you take a couple of mortal wounds, you lose a model, and then obviously, but that isn't really...
Do you know what the frustrating thing is, though?
What's that?
We've got Feel No Pain. So if you do roll that 6 on that on that 1 mortal wound, you're like, no!
I know. I want
feel the pain.
I would just feel it.
Yeah.
Die, goddamn you! Yeah, for the Emperor.
Yeah,
right?
literally.
Okay, so next up is Wrathful Rampage. In your movement phase, just after you advanced, you can basically charge. And if you're below starting strength and within a chaplain, you can then shoot and charge. You just want the advance and charge.
Yeah, look, I'm glad that the shoot one isn't the first ability.
Yeah.
Advance and charge is amazing. Look, I'm glad it's in this detachment as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not going to care about the shoot.
I wish the other one that actually Lost to the Rage was written like something along those lines. Like basically, first point is like pretty good. So it was like, I don't know, +1 attacks in AP or something. And then if you're starting, or if it was written something along the lines of you get +1 attacks, strength and AP, but hazardous. However, if you're under starting strength, you're not hazardous.
Yeah.
That would have been okay. At least you could use the strat to trigger it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so that is that detachment.
Yeah, we've been quite critical of that one.
I think we have.
Yeah, but I think, look, it's the weak detachment in the Codex. We're about to come on to probably, I think, your favourite detachment.
Yeah, this is definitely my favourite.
Yeah, so what is the name of this detachment?
Well, they named it after me, which I'm really happy about. It's called the Angelic Host.
Oh, right, okay, the Angelic Host, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the Angelic Host, I love it. Okay, so this is, for all of you that have followed the channel for such a long time, you know that I was very much into playing my Blood Angels for a very, very long time. Then Jordan came along and sort of ruined it for me because he wouldn't shut up about them. Anyway, this Angelic Host is back. It's a blast from the past, and I'm going to be playing it. So Jordan, step aside because I'm back on Blood Angels.
You can have this one, mate.
All right, cool. So let me go over it. At the end of your opponent's turn, you can select up to a number of Astartes jump pack units from your army. That not within engagement range. The maximum number will depend on the battle size. So we're playing Strike Force, so we can pick up to 2 units from our army. And we can put them back into strategic reserves. And in the next movement phase, they can deep strike.
So they have to come down the next turn.
That is a shame.
Yeah, so this is similar to like Grey Knights.
Yeah.
But look, being able to take off jump pack units is massive.
Pretty good.
Combine that with scouts.
It's pretty good.
So now you've got armies that is, you're basically Hypercrypt Necrons, but Blood Angels.
Yeah, you got uppy, downy, offy, onny.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so the enhancements. One of them is called the Artisan of War. You improve the armor penetration characteristics by 1 and the save up to a 2+. So basically you can go, hey, cool, Mr. Captain, basically become a sanguinary guard.
Yeah, definitely. We had this in the index.
Paint him gold.
Paint him gold. Oh, I can't wait for a gold captain.
Could be great. Right, so I think that's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I think at a nice points price, why don't you put it in?
Definitely.
That's great. Okay, next up is called Visage of Death. So this is a jump pack. All of these are jump pack models.
Cool.
Okay, so it can obviously go on your either chaplains or captains. In the battle shock step of your opponent's command phase, each enemy unit within engagement range must take a battle shock check. It's okay.
It's not bad, yeah. I mean, this has changed from the index, because before it just meant that you reduce the OC of enemy units within engagement range of yours by 1, whereas this one is forcing the battle shock steps. There's no guaranteed, but you could reduce them to 0 OC rather than just 1.
Ask me, am I taking it?
Are you taking it?
No.
Okay, fair enough. No.
Right. Archangel Shard. Jump pack model only, again. The bearer's melee weapon has anti-chaos 5+. You can take a captain with a thunder hammer that gets devastating wounds. So against chaos, you're getting devastating wounds on a 5+. That's as best as you're going to get with that. However, you don't get any reroll wounds. But you do get lance.
The lance is nice. Okay. This was in the index as well.
If this was a point, I might take it.
A point? Save your point, Steve. Just don't do it. I just think that anti-chaos is like, why?
What, to kill chaos?
Yeah, but obviously. But it's just, It's a thematic one, isn't it? Competitively, you never take this.
No,
You can't guarantee you're going to play chaos
you can't.
unless the meta is just chaos.
Yeah, then you're taking it.
Then you're taking it.
To be fair, in 9th edition, there was actually a chaos meta.
Yeah.
And this was a type of weapon. I did take it.
Yeah, I do remember.
It did actually work for me. But anyway, I think if it's 5 points and you got it left over with nothing else you can possibly do, like literally nothing, you might take it.
And then you can hunt down those demon primarchs.
Exactly. Right, gleaming pinions?
Yes.
Pinions. Gleaming pins.
Gleaming pins.
Right, okay. This for me is glorious. All right then, Jordan. So this one is once per turn. When an enemy unit makes a normal, fallback, or advance move and ends that move within 9 inches of one of your units that's not in engagement range, you can then make a normal move 6 inches.
This is absolutely amazing.
Once per turn is great.
Yeah, this is squad tactics at its peak.
It is.
On your 1 unit, Sanguinary Guard.
Right, Jordan. So let me tell you the combo I'm cooking up here.
All right.
I've got a Lander Raider Redeemer.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
What's the transport capacity, son?
14.
That's right. That's it is. Right, so I've got 6 Sanguinary Guard.
Yep.
And I've got a captain.
Or Dante. Captain, sorry, yeah, Captain.
You can't take a...
Oh, yeah, idiot.
You can't take gleaming pins, mate.
Dante can't have gleaming pins, you're right.
No.
Oh.
So anyway, I got my captain that I'll probably paint gold.
Yeah.
Put him with a jump pack.
Nice.
Give him this.
Yep.
And then if anybody comes near me, back in the Redeemer we go. Yeah.
I just like to imagine it, they're just sitting on top, not going inside it. They just jump on the top and just drives away.
Yeah. Gives my Sanguinary Guard some protection.
Yeah.
I love it. Right,
Yeah,
okay,
like
cool.
it.
Right, so we've gone to the stratagems.
Yep.
Okay, well, of course, I've got Armor Contempt.
Yep.
So there's 5 left to do. Right, next one is called Unbridled Ardor. Right? So any phase, one Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that was just destroyed, you can use this stratagem. So you kill anything in my army, I'm going to use this, all right?
Okay.
Anything.
Anything.
You kill anything, I'm using this, all right?
Cool. Yep.
Until the end of the battle. You get that?
End of the battle.
Yeah.
Okay, end of the battle.
It's going to last till then.
Okay, right.
Sanguinary Guard units that make an attack that target the enemy unit that just destroyed your unit, I can re-roll the hit and re-roll the wound roll against it.
All hits and wound.
Yeah. And guess what? I don't need to be under starting strength.
No way.
I know.
So you got gleaming pins.
Yeah.
And now you got reroll hits and wounds.
Yeah.
That is some gleaming guard.
So basically, don't kill anything from my army, okay?
All right, thanks.
Or you're
Thanks
gonna
for the tip. I like it.
Or you're going to get wrecked. All right?
Yep.
Top tactics coming out. Right. So next up is called Angel Sacrifice.
Yes, this is our favourite strat from Knife is back.
Start of the fight phase, one of my jump pack units. Until the end of that phase, each time an enemy model with an engagement range of your unit selects its targets, it must select your unit as the target of all of its attacks.
This will be great on a lone character.
It would be great on a lone character, yeah. Maybe something like the Sanguinor. He comes in.
Yep.
And he's like, right, Angel Sacrifice, hit me.
Yep. And Angron hits him.
Kills him.
No, he doesn't kill him.
He probably will kill him.
Yeah, probably will. Yeah. So I was thinking of the gleaming pins.
But then what you do, Jordan, right? Angron's come in. Sanguinor beams it down, right? He gets fight first. Jabs Angron in the face.
Right, okay, yeah.
Does some damage.
Yeah.
Makes him super mad.
Yep.
But that's okay because you've already used Angel Sacrifice at the start of the phase, right?
Okay.
Angron kills him. You then go, but hey, wait, you've just killed my model. 1 CP, Unbridled Ardor, right? And now the 6 Sanguinary Guard get full rerolls to hit and wound against Angron, and boom, get wrecked, son.
That might be my favourite combo. For Codex review done. There we go.
Done it.
Yeah, complete it, mate.
Complete it. Go out, buy it, wreck your friends.
Oh, wow. That is amazing.
And let them weep in your Blood Angel tears.
Oh, majestic.
Right, come back to planet Earth now.
Yeah.
Or Baal.
Or either of them.
Such an idiot. Right.
Listen, I'm blinded by the majesticness of that combination, Steve. You have blown my mind with that.
Oh, and it's not difficult, is it?
Well,
Anyway.
just complimenting you there.
Thanks. So next one is called Martial Exemplars. Yeah, again, named after me. I love it.
I was going to say it's me, but okay.
So again, another jump pack unit this can be used on. It's in the fight phase, and basically for a CP, I get lethal hits and precision on all my melee weapons. And guess what? I don't need to become battle shocked to get it, and I don't need to be on the starting strength. I just get it, baby.
Mate, honestly,
So I'm going to punk them characters with lethal and precision.
punk them characters, punk anger on.
I could even wombo combo that one in as well.
You could.
Yeah, I could have them all. Okay, so next one is called the Descent of Angels.
Right.
All right. This one, I'm not going to lie, is terrible.
Right.
Okay. Jump back unit, I can set up within 3 inches of you.
I've got a little combo wombo for you.
No, because I'm going to know what you're about to say.
What's that?
Use this with rapid ingress.
No, it's not.
Because that would have been epic, right?
Yeah.
But you can only use it in your movement phase. So don't get that wrong at home, folks, and don't let those cheaty little Blood Angel players get you. That they can...
Stephen.
Yeah. So you can only do this in your phase.
Okay.
It would, it works really good on a shooting unit because you can't charge after.
Vanguard veterans with pistols, and flamers.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So as somebody that also plays sisters with a unit with loads of hand flamers, guess what it kills?
Gretchen?
Not much. So I don't really think it's worth it.
No.
If I'm taking Vanguard vets in this detachment, first of all, you've got to ask yourself why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because no, apothecary or priest with jump pack anymore. When you can just take Sanguinary Guard, depending on, the point shakeout.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just don't see... I think, okay, I would take this on a captain with jump pack.
Okay.
Just him.
Go in front of an opponent's gun line, die, and get reroll hits and wounds against that unit.
Well, that's an option.
Yeah.
But screening out 132mm base, or whatever it's on, is quite difficult.
Yep.
Or like whatever the smallest jump pack, cheapest character you can put this on, use this with that model.
Mm.
And then you just set it up, spend a CP, do an action somewhere.
You could do it.
Like, like the ones we got be near edges or, engaging all fronts, behind enemy lines. That's where I'd use it.
So here's a little thing we could do. Sanguinor again. Because if you play a shooting army, 10 times out of 10, they're not charging you, right?
Right.
So Sanguinor's ability is useless in that situation.
Right.
We can now use it to go 3 inches away from their home objective. And we've got the Sanguinor on their home objective ready to charge in our turn and kill whatever on their home objective.
Right. I mean, it's not useless. It's just...
There's better things we could have. Look, we've just got 5 stratagems.
Yeah, and then
we've got... Potentially.
And then we've also got, this is amazing, Death from the Skies, okay? Your charge phase, 1 jump pack unit from your army that just advanced or fell back. Guess what it can do?
Advance and charge, baby.
Yeah, angelic host for the win.
I think, look, we've got...
Boxy's Bangles are back.
Boxy's Bangles.
Boxy's Bangles.
And George Jangles. Boxy's Bangles, George Jangles. We're here to take the competitive meta scene down. Blood Angels are back, baby.
That was worse than when you called yourself 9-inch George.
I think that was better, actually.
No, because you got your name wrong. You said your name wrong.
I know what I did, Steve.
You got your own name wrong, Jordan. It's not George, is it? Nobody calls,
at this point.
Nobody calls you George.
Well, I did, so someone did.
Right, it's not called Jangles, mate. They're called Bangles for the shortened version of Blood Angels.
Yeah, George's Angels. Like Charlie's Angels, but George's Angels.
But then that's basically George's Angels if you're going to call it George Jangles.
What's next, Steve?
It's painful.
I think we've got some really good detachments here, Steve.
So overall, detachments, they do look great.
I think, we've got 2 competitive detachments we can pick from here.
And we've got one pretty terrible one that looks like it could be some fun, but that's also not going to break the codex. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, definitely. So, unit review?
Unit review. All right, so Dante's up first. Yeah, the one that we all love dearly, Dante.
Yes, we do.
Now, there's a few little changes here, and I'm going to let you do this because I know you'd have looked at every single data point over and over again. Give me what's changed.
So Dante has had some quite big changes to his data sheet.
Right.
He's got +1 strength to his Inferno pistol, or the Perdition pistol.
Okay.
So it's now strength 9.
Okay.
which means is actually quite significant, as we were discussing off camera. It means that he's going to be wounding things like rhinos and anything that's toughness 9 and 4s.
Yeah, he's also D6 damage.
He's D6 and melter range, D6 plus 2.
Yeah, so it's not like a rubbishy pistol. It's a good one.
And sustain D3.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right,
definitely.
so then he's got the Axe Mortalis with lethal hits.
Yep, that's gone up a strength as well. So that's strength 8 rather than strength 7.
So then in Sons or equivalent, Liberator Force is strength 10.
Strength 10.
That's pretty good.
I think that's really, really strong on him. He's also now gives his unit +1 to advance, as well as +1 to charge and +1 to hit.
Oh, and that's nice because there's a lot of advance and charge,
Yeah.
stratagems.
Yeah, so I genuinely think that that is absolutely amazing on him. Yeah, he's had a nice little glow up, actually.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So next up, we've got the Sanguinor. Okay, Sanguinor, beautiful new model. Just use a new head because he looks a bit like a gorilla here. I mean, I love the pose. I think it's fantastic. So is there any changes to the Sanguinor in terms of its rules?
Sanguinor is exactly the same as...
So he's lone operative. He's got fights first. He basically beams it on down when your opponent makes a charge move into you. It's pretty good.
Yeah, devastating wounds, fights first. He's got all the best rules in the game. And he's a key ingredient to an army, I feel.
Yeah, I just wish he was cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see our points shake up, right? But definitely, I've enjoyed using him so far in 10th. So I think he can be used competitively.
All right, now I'm going to talk to you about a character.
Okay.
That I have this model.
Yeah.
It's painted extremely well. It's called Mephiston.
Oh.
This is probably the character that has the biggest glow up in the history of glow ups for a character.
Definitely.
I think he's amazing.
Because he was rubbish before.
I think he's... Whoa. Okay. I think he could be on the auto-take list.
Potentially.
All right. He's got lethal hits in combat. They are psychic attacks. He's got 6 of them, strength 9, AP 3, D3 damage. It's not bad.
Yeah.
He's got a good ranged attack as well with, sustained hits. That's okay. He can shoot his plasma pistol as well because that's his psychic attack's a pistol, so it means you can actually fire all your pistols.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got a 4+ feel no pain.
Money.
Right. He's got fights first built into his keyword, so it's not like when he's leading a unit anymore.
Yep. So he doesn't forget it.
No. And do you know what else?
What else?
He's a lone operative.
Oh, so good.
He doesn't need any friends. And guess what? He can also advance in charge.
Yeah, he's genuinely amazing now.
And then what he can do is while an enemy unit is within 6 of this model, each time they select a fallback, it has to take a leadership check, right? And if it's failed, they must remain stationary.
Yeah, that's good. That's actually a really nice touch to it because I think Mephiston wants to get stuck in the action. You don't have to pay a CP to advance and charge with the army like the other stratagems we've got available.
Yeah.
So he can keep up with everyone. He moves 7 inches anyway.
Yeah.
T5, 2 up save, 5 up invul, 4 up feel no pain.
Yeah.
You're not moving him.
He's good.
Yeah. I do think he's good. It's a shame about the D3 damage though.
Well, I think it's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right in 10th edition D3 damage.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. Especially on a lone op character, I think it's fine. So next up, we've got Ashtaroth. Again, beautiful new model. Tell me what's changed with Ashtaroth.
Ashtaroth has had an insane glow up. If we think Mephiston's had a glow up, this guy's had a glow up too.
Well, his wings are bigger.
His wings are bigger, and his model is beautiful. The best new model that they brought out for Blood Angels, in my opinion. But basically, Ashtaroth's, his stat line has stayed the same.
Okay.
But his weapon, he's now got +2 attacks, so he's got 6 attacks. It's strength 7, AP 3, 2 damage, devastating wounds, precision, and his ability used to be he gives devastating wounds to his unit on the charge once per game. Gives it all the time now, every time they charge.
Okay, that's good. You still give your fart on death, and you can only join Death Company Marines with jump packs.
It's amazing though, giving them all devastating wounds with the amount of attacks with chainswords you're going to be getting and things like that. In Sons, this guy is an absolute weapon.
He is a weapon.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of weapons, and people like to put things in their mouths, it's Lamates.
He does like to put things in his mouths.
Now, basically, this guy is pretty much the same as far as I can see.
Yeah, he hasn't changed. He's still the same. Still gives -1 damage, still gives lethal hits to his unit. So I think Lamates and Ashtaroth together in a list, depending on points, be amazing to have 2 units of Death Company Marines with jump packs.
Yeah, I just think we need to sort of, is the unit size is going to be 10 of Death Company, or is it going to be 5? And obviously, that's going to really depend on the weapon options, I think.
Weapon options and points.
Yeah, exactly that. Right, we've already gone over the Blood Angel Captain.
Yep.
Again, very cool new model, looks awesome. Then we've also got the Death Company Captain that we've spoke about, basically. Now, if the Death Company Captain joins, obviously, the Death Company Marines or the Death Company Marine with bolt rifles, you gain the Scout ability, okay?
Yes.
while you're leading a unit. But the issue is it doesn't work if you're in a transport, which I feel like's not...
It's not great, really, is it? I mean,
No.
I think we'll come to it when we look at the options for Death Company, because the Death Company on foot and the Death Company with jump packs have slightly different loadouts.
Yeah, I feel like if it was Scout 8 and they had base 8 move, like a little bit faster, more aggressive Marines, that would be okay. But sometimes 6 inches isn't enough to get you into that next phase of the terrain to hide you. So, you know, I mean, it's okay if you know you go first, because if there's like a piece of terrain that's on the line, sure, you can scout 6 and then, you know, maybe move in advance. But it's not good enough to stage on the line and get into a midfield, you know, objective place necessarily.
No, normally, when you get scout on a unit, you want it in a transport. Yeah. To scout the transport up, and then you do another unit following up and getting back in the swapping and stuff, right? But you're not getting that with it, so I think he's a bit of a miss. Yeah. Personally.
Now we've got the Death Company Captain with jump pack, like you said earlier, gives sustain to the units. That's cool. Obviously, these can only join Death Company units. And again, they've all got that clarification. They are basically OC0 and can't fall back unless there's a chaplain nearby. And this one also blows up as well. Yeah. When it dies,
So they do the blow up when they die and they re-roll hits, which is okay. But right, Sanguinary Priest.
Awesome model.
Awesome model.
Shame about the missing jump pack.
No jump pack, which is arguably the biggest miss in the Codex, as we mentioned.
There's a second miss here, I think.
No Blade Guard.
No, you can't join Blade Guard, which would have been, I think, great. Yeah. Join some Blade Guard with a captain, give it that enhancement for the fights first. That's a unit.
Yeah, definitely. I just think, when are you going to take him? Like, you can go with Assault Intercessors, but again, why would you spend all that points on that unit when you just take jump packs and get the benefits in other units?
All right, hear me out.
Okay, all right, give me a combo, Steve.
Hear me out.
I'm here.
So that detachment with the Liberator Task Force detachment.
Yeah, Sons. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there advance and shoot in there?
There was, yes.
Yeah. And advance and charge.
Yeah.
Okay. You could put him with 10 Stern Guard veterans.
Okay.
And a captain.
Yeah.
Because then the Stern Guard have now got a 5+ Feel No Pain, which keeps them alive a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But they also get a boatload of attacks.
They do. Yeah.
Which are normally AP0.
AP1 punches.
AP1 punches, just a shed load of them. Could have some play. I'm not saying it's going to be great.
No, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, definitely.
It just gives it something. In there, is there any other way to... I mean, if you took Gladius, you could get them up to AP2 as well.
AP2, and you could maybe put like a captain in there.
Well, you would.
Join with a captain, exactly. So you do free stratagem for the extra AP and Lance. So Lance, extra AP, 2 attack or 2 AP on all their punches. That's some serious punching.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like, and it is a boatload of attacks. So hey, who knows? But I think it's a beautiful model. I'm definitely gonna have to get one.
Yep, same.
Right. Speaking of beautiful models, the original Vanguard at the strength of 10. Yeah. They do have a new model. Yeah. And I'm gonna have to see these models in person, I think. I don't love them.
I think this has just split the community in half, this one with the Sanguinary Guard, because I'm not the biggest hater of them. I actually don't mind them. I think if you take the helmets off and you put the bare heads on, you know, like the new Vampire Fang faces.
They're very good.
I think they would look amazing on Vanguard.
I feel like the faces they've done are really, really nice. Yeah. But I just feel like these helmets don't quite hit the mark for me. They're too like, I don't know, bulky faces. Like, they're like blown out. Yeah. It doesn't have like the sort of the cheekbones that we're used to seeing on.
It doesn't have like that rage expression either, which I was kind of expecting.
No.
So if you look at the old ones, they've all got like that's like crying, screaming face sort of thing, right?
And do you know what they look like here? Big baby heads.
Big, yeah,
bold baby heads. Yeah.
Yeah, melon heads.
Yeah. And then the overall aesthetic of the model, I just feel like is a little bit too girthy.
Look, it could have been better.
Yeah.
It could have been better. I think everyone can agree on that. But whatever side of the fence you sit on, I think, look, we have got some new rules here.
Yes.
They have had a glow up. We've finally got an invulnerable save on Sanguinary Guard.
Oh, I know. thank whoever decided that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Because that's great.
Exactly. 2 up save, 4+ invulnerable save on Sanguinary Guard.
With 3 wounds now.
3 wounds each.
Yep.
I think that is honestly amazing.
They've also had another little glow up.
Yep.
You get your -1 to wound now in melee if any character joins you, not just the warlord.
Yeah, that was the silliest rule because it meant that you would just take 1 unit.
You would, yeah. So you're -1 to hit, okay, from melee attacks. It's a shame that's not -1 to hit generally.
Yep.
And then you've got, the issue is the Inferno bolt gun, or bolt pistol, should I say, only 1 of those. You can only take 1.
Yeah, I think, again, that's a massive miss. Like, 6 Sanguinary Guard should all have any weapon loadout they want.
Yeah, because, or if it was like a melter gun like Dante had, if they were all equivalent to that stat line, but yeah, that'd be okay.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, okay, well, it's a decent melter gun, not a, D3 damage gun. But anyway, then we've got the melee weapons, right?
Yes.
You got 4 attacks with the blade, and that's strength 6, AP 3, 2 damage. Or you can have the Incarn Spear with lance, 3 attacks, strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage. Now, I think we're both in agreement here. The swords are just better.
AP 3 swords.
Yes.
It's equivalent to having a Sanguinary Priest giving them the AP in combat.
Yeah, and it's easy. It was easily enough to get lance elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think these guys in Sons, I know you like them in your detachment, the uppy downy one, with 5 attacks each at strength 8, AP 3, damage 2.
It's good.
Amazing. You could even give them lethal.
Well, I think what you would do is, because captains can join this unit, and one of the units could be fighting first. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that's incredible. Okay, so then we've got the Death Company Marines with bolt rifles. Bit of a miss for me, this one. I'd like to see their rules change because they basically can Overwatch for free with bolt rifles. Not amazing.
Can I just say this?
What?
This is in my opinion, the worst data sheet in 40k. I think there is nothing on this data sheet that salvages it.
You've taken an Eviscerator now.
Oh, woohoo!
Yeah.
I would, please put in the comments the worst data sheet than this one.
There's quite a lot.
Than this one?
Yeah. I mean...
Name one that's worse than this.
Name a worst data sheet. All right, I'm struggling right now off the top of my head, but I'll think of one.
All right,
I'll put it in the comments.
Let us know in the comments.
Right, okay, so then we've got Death Company Marines. These are basically Primaris, like assault intercessors.
Yes.
And they get sustained 1, and if you're below... Sorry. You get sustained 1 if you're below starting strength, and then you get sustained 2 if you're below half.
This is the reason why I didn't like them, because they're exactly the same in the index, and why I never would have taken these is because you've got to lose models to get an ability.
Yeah.
I wish that had changed, that you just get sustained hits, because then they become an option to the jump back unit.
Yeah, well, if it was sustained hits 1 and then when below starting or at half, you get sustained 2, that would have been okay.
Exactly.
Right, okay, cool. So now Death Company Marines with jump packs. You can reroll charges. It's all right.
So it's exactly the same as the current Death Company.
But I think what it's worth doing is taking a look at the loadouts of weapons.
Yep.
So remember, you used to be able to take every model with a power fist. Now, for every 5 models, you can take a plasma pistol.
Okay.
Okay? Next line. For every 5 models, you can take 1 Eviscerator. So the Eviscerators are sustained hits naturally, 3 attacks, hitting on 4, strength 7, 2, AP 2, 2 damage. So it's like a worse power fist.
Yeah.
But you get sustained.
Yeah.
But sustained of only 3 attacks is a 50-50 whether you're going to get it or not.
Yeah.
So you need 2 Eviscerators in order to proc 1 hit. You're better off with just a power fist that gets an extra attack and extra strength. But anyway, it's like a pseudo power fist. So you can take 2 of those per 10.
Yep.
So you can have 2 plasma pistols, 2 Eviscerators. All right?
Yep.
Now, you can also then, 1 model can take a power fist.
Okay.
So you can have 1 power fist, 2 Eviscerators, 2 plasma pistols so far.
Nice, right.
Now, for every 5, 1 model's heavy bolt pistol and chainsword can be replaced with the following: a hand flamer and a power fist. I'm not talking about power weapons because they're dump.
Yeah.
But basically, hand flamer, power fist, inferno pistol, power fist. Well, that's it. It's really, those are all your options.
We can have 3 power fists. We can have 2 Eviscerators, 2 plasma pistols, and 2 inferno pistols.
Yes.
That's just the jump pack ones.
Yeah,
I believe it's slightly different with the ones on foot.
It is different, yeah.
Yeah.
Not as good.
Not as good. You get less.
So it's not bad, but it's a lot of time wasting of different weapons rolling out.
Yeah.
I'd prefer it was just like either one profile or something for speed of play.
Yeah.
But I can see why they've done it. So anyway, and obviously chaplains that can join, you know, with leader abilities can join this unit as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the new data sheet of the century is the Death Company Dreadnought.
Yeah, this is, I think you're going to be taking these in every list. They are absolutely amazing. It's the Brutalis datasheet.
Yep.
With the Death Company rule.
Yep.
And it also gets Blood Surge.
Okay, so it's called Driven by Fury. Basically, this is like Blood Surge, like we've seen with Khorne Berserkers, but you add 2 to the roll. So if you shoot me, okay, as long as I was hit by one or more of those attacks, it can then make a Fury move. You roll the d6, you add 2 to it, that's how far you can move, and you can end in engagement range. You can't do this, though, if you're battle shocked, and you can't do this if you're in engagement range, for obvious reasons. Now, luckily, if you don't have a chaplain nearby, you're only OC2. You don't count as being battle shocked.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
But here's the problem. If you ever used any of those stratagems to make yourself battle shocked in your turn, if you're in the Liberator task force, then obviously you would lose this rule. Because if you used it in your turn, you're still battle shocked until the start of your next turn.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to use this. So that's a bit of a problem. So if you ever use any of the stratagems from the Liberator task force, just go for the one benefit, not 2.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, the Death Company Dreadnought doesn't really need to go for both in most instances.
No.
I mean, it can take the multi-melt with the twin link multi-melters, so it's got a bit of shooting profile, but it's got the 6 up Feel No Pain on a Brutalis chassis. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that I'm gutted it's missing is the Magna Grapples. The Magna Grapples giving it +2 to the charge against monsters and vehicles, I think would have made that absolutely spicy. And yeah, so the final data sheet we got, the Bile Predator.
Yeah.
So it's had a little change. It now can just re-roll advance rolls.
It's good.
And it's gained assault on its weapons.
Nice.
So it can shoot anything all the time and advance to shoot. Before it could only shoot infantry and advance to shoot.
Okay.
So bit of a glow up for the Bile Predator.
Yep.
Still the same profile. Amazing.
Brilliant. Much more simple, yet still pretty much just the same thing.
Exactly.
All right. Well, guys, I think on the whole, it's a really exciting codex.
Yes.
A few losses.
I actually don't feel sad too much after reading the codex.
Yeah, I think we've had a good fun review with this. And
definitely.
We really want to find out your thoughts. And remember that we're going to be dropping a Blood Angel Masterclass. Okay, so what we do on our Masterclass series is we basically look at every single detachment in a lot more depth. Okay, we're going to really focus on that Liberator task force and the angelic host. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a really cool competitive list. We're going to show you how to deploy it. We're going to go over everything that's good and great about it and all the things you need to watch out for, what might beat you at the table. So if you are playing these armies, and we can look at kind of like the overall force that you've got, give you some direction on what's going to be the best attachment for you, for your play style, and then also we can look at some of those advanced tactics on the table so you can see it with a really nice, clear expression of how you can implement that. Now, if that's something you're going to be interested in, then the Masterclass series, we cover every codex that's been released. So if you get a subscription, all the links are below in our description. You can check that out, and yeah, you'll have access to it as soon as it drops.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jordan, let's play some Blood Angels.
I'm so excited.
Let's do it.